Hi everybody, my name is Peter. Thanks for joining me at Our Worship Sound. In today's video, I want to show you some settings within Mainstage that can help you smooth out your performances. I feel like I've gotten to the point in Mainstage where I'm pretty comfortable with setting up patches and making hardware control assignments. But if I'm honest with myself, there's some times where I end up with unintended consequences moving from one patch to the next. I just end up with things that I don't want happening and some distracting things that happen. So in trying to smooth those out, I've found some settings that I think will help us all to make some smoother transitions. So we're going to be working in the Mainstage Preferences. So with Mainstage open, you can either go to the Mainstage menu and select Preferences, or just press Command the comma key. Alright, so we're going to be working with the General Preferences, so make sure that tab is selected. And then one thing I want to show you really quick before we get started, but this Startup Preference, I think by default it's set to open the most recent concert, and sometimes you're stuck there while Mainstage opens your last concert and all its plugins and everything, when that's not the project you're going to be working on. So I just set it to do nothing, and then once Mainstage opens up, I can select whatever concert I want. So where we're going to be working today is down here at the parameters values, and there are two things we see here: on patch change and respond to hardware move. And like I said, these are going to help us make some smoother transitions within our sets and within our concerts. So first of all, on patch change, we have two options. One is to keep current value, and the other is reset to saved value. We'll start here with reset to saved value. So on this patch, I'm going to set this to -5.1 because I think that's what it'll go back to once I've saved it. So save it, and then I can make an adjustment to the volume level. But then if I go to another patch and then come back to it, you can see it's back at -5.1. Okay, now if I go back and change this to keep current value, I think you'll probably be able to see what will happen. If I pull the volume down, go to another patch, and then come back, it's still at that unadjusted, or at that adjusted volume. Okay, so there's some different scenarios where either preference could be the better option. I'm going to go ahead and just give you the what I do and what I recommend. The times where I've gotten into trouble with this setting is when I have it on keep current value selected, and I go through rehearsal, and I'll get to the end of the song, and then a patch will be set for where I want it to the end of the song, and then I transition to something else. On this patch is probably my most complicated patch. I have 4 layers, each kind of with something different going on. But I have a pad, and then an acoustic guitar, electric guitar for when we don't have a guitar player, and then bell sound. So then I'll mix that in with the piano. My internal piano sound. So I'll get to the end of the song, and then I can go to the next patch to transition to the next song, and that's smooth enough. But then I move on in rehearsal, and then we come back for the performance, and then the settings are still where they were at the end of the song instead of where I need them to be for the beginning of the song. So I'm there at the beginning of the song, and I go to transition to that patch, and I start to play, and I start to hear all these extra sounds in there that I don't want. I have to make quick adjustments, but the distraction has already happened, and those loud sounds have popped out, and so it's just trying to eliminate things like that. So I would recommend go ahead and setting it to reset to saved value. Now this isn't just a kind of a set it and forget it setting either. You have to really be conscientious about when you saved your concert. If you needed to change a setting so that it would stick, just go ahead and make that adjustment with the other patches as they are. So anyway, like I said, that you still have to be really conscientious and thoughtful about how you set up your patches, but that I think will probably lend itself to more smooth transitions. Alright, so the other setting we want to talk about is this respond to hardware move. So the problem I have, and the problem probably a lot of people have, is that settings in the software might be different than the settings in your hardware, because your hardware has absolute values assigned to it. I can turn this knob all the way down, or I can turn it all the way up, or somewhere in the middle. But wherever it is on the hardware, that's an absolute value. So we have 3 options under this respond to hardware move, which kicks into effect when the level in the software is different than the level on our hardware. So jump is the most straightforward, but it's also going to provide some jumpy level changes. So let's say I have my hardware here, my knob here above halfway, but then the fader in the software is down. Let's go to a different patch. I think you'll hear more abrupt change going on. So my volume is down, but I just changed this patch and my hardware knob is still up. Well, I just bumped it, so it reset in the software. It jumped. Okay, so I'm going to play it, and the patch is going to be too soft. That's my hardware piano. Okay, so I need to bring the level up, but the level here is going to jump. It's going to jump to wherever it is as soon as I touch it. So a very abrupt change. The opposite can also be a problem. So let's say the fader in the software is up, but my hardware knob is down. It's going to be too loud at first. Then I go to make a change, and it's an abrupt change again. So, like I said, jump is the most straightforward, but it's probably going to give you the most abrupt changes, which is what I'm trying to avoid right now. I'm going to skip down to the third option, which is relative. And what that means is when there's a discrepancy between the software level and the hardware level, it's going to allow me to change it right away. So as soon as I touch the knob, it's going to move. It's going to affect the level in the software, but only like proportionally or relative to how this is moving. So I'm going to need to bring this level up, but my knob is already fairly high, and so it's gonna give me a limited range of motion. And that's as far as I can bring the patch in that case. Let's try the opposite here. So now this could be a real problem in that the volume is too high. I need to bring it down, but my knob is pretty low. So it only let me adjust it a little bit. So I need to bring it up to where the software level is before I really have full range motion. I have to go all the way up in order to come all the way down. So sometimes with relative, it has to get worse before it can get better. I'm going to land on pickup, okay? And it's not a perfect solution, but as far as creating smooth changes, I think it's probably the best one. So what pickup is going to require me to do is it's not going to change the level right away as soon as I touch the knob. It's going to wait until the knob catches the value of the software before it makes any changes. So let's say that my knob is up high and the software fader is down low. So it's going to require me to turn the knob all the way down to that low level, and then it kind of catches and brings it up. Okay, so here's the effect here, and you'll hear that there's not a sudden change. Okay, so let's do the opposite, where the fader is up, too loud, but the knob is down. So again, it's not as quick and it's not as responsive, but it eliminates any sort of jumpiness to it, which is what I'm kind of trying to prioritize with this. So, like I said, there's no just like set it perfectly and you don't have to worry about it. You're going to have to be conscientious about it and pay attention to your transitions. But I think these two settings, reset to save value and pickup, are probably going to give you the best, most fluid changes in between your patches. So I hope that was helpful to you. At this point, I'd ask you to subscribe to Our Worship Sound on YouTube for more videos on Mainstage, and just be aware of any other videos that are coming up soon. Also, if you would click the link below the video and go ahead and sign up for my free email list, and you can be aware of new things that are coming out. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.